You guys, are we ready? We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have your
Let's
preamble
make sure.
close by?
We're good?
Names, what a roll call.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board meeting for Wednesday, August 7th. The time is 6 p.m. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Janie Anderson. Dale Blinton,
Here.
Rodolfo Barrientos, Judy Hammerberg,
Here.
Michael Lanat,
Here.
staff Doreen Grant, Luciana Nib,
Present.
Rafaela Gutierrez,
Present.
Vanessa Cherry present.
Good evening again. This is a meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board. The board is authorized pursuant to Chapter 14 of the Village Land Development Code to ensure compliance with the village's code of ordinances. The members of the board are citizens and residents of the Village of Biscayne Park. We volunteer our time and we are not paid for our service. The purpose of each hearing is to give any alleged violators the opportunity to contest the decision of the code compliance officer, which resulted in the issuance of a notice of violation, and to determine whether a violation of the village's code occurred or is occurring. We are not authorized to dismiss violations based on hardships, ignorance, or the fact that others might be guilty of the same violation. These hearings are conducted in a quasi-judicial manner. Our responsibility is to act much like a judge in a court, and that is to hear cases presented by the village's code compliance officers and to hear contradictory arguments presented by the alleged violators. We are not authorized to change the code. The village commission is solely authorized to enact or revise codes. Conversely, neither the commission nor the village manager have the authority to overrule the findings of the board. Pursuant to Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes, orders of the board can only be appealed to the Circuit Court of Miami-Dade County. We have the authority to assess and order the payment of civil penalties, to issue orders having the force of law, to command whatever steps are necessary to bring a violation into compliance, and to assess administrative costs. In order to make a finding upholding the code compliance officer's decision, we must find that there is substantial, competent evidence that the named violator was responsible for a violation of the relative section of the code as charged. All documentary evidence presented by the parties must be submitted for placement in the hearing file. No documentary evidence will be considered unless the alleged violator or code compliance officer submits a copy for the hearing file. Each party shall have the right to call and examine witnesses, to introduce exhibits, to cross-examine opposing witnesses on any matter relevant to the issues, even though that matter was not covered in the direct examination, to impeach any witnesses regardless of which party first called them, to testify, and to rebut the evidence against them. If you intend to address the board and you have not signed in, please do so. Anyone wishing to address the board, I need you please to stand, raise your right hand so that you may be sworn in. You are reminded that the board is a quasi-judicial board and false testimony could be penalized.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
None.
We do want to add,
Discussion item?
Sorry?
A discussion item towards the end?
we want to add that discussion item at the end, the construction fences.
Sure.
I would like to add a short discussion item after we've conducted all the business. The issue of temporary construction fences has come up, and we should at least have a brief discussion on that, if that's okay with everybody. Okay, that's my only, and there are no other additions or deletions.
That's correct.
We're ready. Oh, I apologize. One thing, the minutes. Remember, we always want to move the minutes to the end. We're ready for your first case.
Doreen Grant, Village of Biscayne Park, code compliance. First case is in old business. And it's item number 7.1 for 675 Northeast 115th Street. Case number CEN-23-276. Matthew Carlisle. This is a progress report on a driveway.
Give us some good news.
Well, okay, to bring everyone up to speed, 2 weeks ago, we met with planning and zoning. The ideas we had for the driveway would pass without a problem. It looks like we're meeting compliance, all the easements, everything will be fine. The exception of that, the drainage infrastructure they've already installed in the front yard is inadequate for any purpose at all. So speaking 3 weeks ago with the city manager, and again with planning and zoning, they couldn't tell us what to do, but they all agree that we should probably replenish the gravel driveway just to give us a surface to park on. In the meantime, Public Works and the city manager and whatever entities are involved are going to try and figure out what they need to do to make the surface we're on safe and good for driving on. And for going forward, 2 to 3 years from now, they're going to take out everything we put in, redo the whole drainage system, and allow us to put the driveway we initially needed and planned on putting in.
Considering that the Planning and Design Review Board has recommended that the plans they have are good, they can just replenish their driveway. We are now asking this board to dismiss this case because they don't need a permit to replenish their driveway.
Absolutely make a motion to dismiss this case.
I'll second it.
Now, with that being said, I should still get a permit to replenish the driveway? I
You don't need
that.
one.
But
Don't need one.
I'll pull up the records anyway to make sure we're trying to some
And
comply.
I must commend you for your perseverance and your patience through all of this. Both of you, thank you so much.
We just want to,
Definitely.
hopefully they get the street repaired in front of our house. We've got more potholes showing up, so. It was an experience, but thank
We
you very
need to
much.
take a vote.
Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for your time.
4-0, thank you. Michael, was that you that second?
Yes.
Michael seconded. Michael. The second item is 7.2. And it's for the property located at 940 Northeast 119th Street for case number CEN-23-513, Alexandra and Alvord. This violation is for a driveway, and we're here for a progress report. They here? They are not present, so what's the progress report?
Is the property owner here? No.
They do have a driveway permit I have to report. However, there are comments in the driveway in the permit from the building official that says that the job value they put in the application is too low and they have to work on that. However, I was hoping that they would be here to explain to you why they haven't done what the building official asked them, and it's been a month.
So they pulled a permit,
They do, right.
but has it gone before P and planning and design?
I believe it has been before planning and design. However, it's in the review process with building, but it's on hold because the value of the job that they put on paper is too low.
Oh, for the job that's being done.
That's correct. Well, before the job is done, the permit has to be issued. It has to go through planning review and building review before they issue the permit. So it's in building review right now.
I believe the permit is based on the value.
See,
Right.
that's a concern. What I'm seeing on a lot of our cases is that, to their credit, folks will start the process.
Right.
Then when there's a hiccup,
It stalls.
oh,
Right.
and stalls for months at a time. So are they in compliance? Are they not in compliance? And that's something I think we need to start dealing with. This is just happening too frequently.
That's correct.
Exactly, because I know this has already been tabled twice. Know they're in the process. They haven't showed up tonight. And also, I'm in agreement. I mean,
Let me see the- let me see the order.
I would,
It's the last,
it was tabled till this time.
right, but we have, and thank you, staff, for including all of the orders that are pertinent. Big help. Yeah. It looks like we had.
Yeah, it was from April, they were,
Mhm.
it was, of course, we have an order of enforcement, tabling it to July, and then that gave, 2 months. And then July until August, and, you know, I think we should make some type of motion.
I
to,
agree.
At least have some action taken.
Yeah.
So, all right, so it's already, so the next step is just with building department, once they give a adequate evaluation.
Then the permit would move to being issued.
Okay, so it's just a small detail.
Big detail. Correct.
Okay. All right,
I think we need to give them a deadline for
Exactly.
handing in the proper paperwork. If not, then a daily fine.
Yes.
exactly,
We've issued no fines. We've really worked with them.
exactly. That's what I was asking, so I could go, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion. if
Please.
I can. I'd like to make a motion that, oh, I don't want to phrase it. Make a motion that the,
How do you wanna go
we
about
don't
this?
need that. They don't need to go back for P.
Oh, you're right, sorry.
It's
You're right.
just a matter of time in the days of seventh, 1, 2, 3. Well, to come into plot, I'd like to make a motion on case number CEN 23 513. To have a permit pulled by September the,
The permit is pulled, is in process. Permit,
oh,
it's already in process.
It's to provide the proper documentation.
Documentation.
So they've they've gotten partway there.
I think I understand what you mean. You need the permit to be issued because it's,
the issue. All right, thank you for have the permit issued by September the 6th. If not, commence a daily fine of $250 per day, commencing September the 7th.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Luciano 981. In compliance. Next case is 7.3. 981 Northeast 113th Street. CEN 22 87 Rene Alvarez. This violation was for a fence, a damaged fence, and the owner is here to give a progress report.
Hi. Says, we revisit what my house,
Please,
what?
give us a chance.
Okay.
Please. So it appears as of the last photograph, which was 7/31, there are still pieces, parts of the fence up.
Right.
Mhm.
Is that correct? And we have given, because this case got a continuance in January. We issued a deadline in February. The gentleman had I believe your father unfortunately passed.
Correct.
We had a neighbor come and we extended it again until June. We're now in August and there's still pieces of the fence up. Comments from anyone?
The pictures I have, the last ones are July 31st.
Said the pictures he has are.
Jul- July 31st, last week.
Mhm.
Yes, that's correct.
Is it still the same today?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Is it right if I?
Give me just a second. Any other questions?
Well, it looks like it's different than February, right? Looks like there was a lot more on February and it's just, looks like the posts. Is that?
Correct. There's a concrete fence.
If you would, your name and your.
My name is Rene Alvarez and I'm the owner of the property. Right. It's a concrete fence. So taking it out was, expensive, right? In the sense, it was, 4.5 tons just to take out what I've was the fence went all the way around the property. So all that's left are the posts. I already bought the jack that's gonna pull them out. And so I just need to pull out the posts and finish that up. My house flooded during the last flood inside the house. So I kind of delayed things. The good news is that the insurance company is paying for removing all the posts, because I'll be using that money to do that, to help with that
This
mitigation.
all did start in May
Yeah.
of last year. So there's been quite a time we kind of dragged it out a bit. Now, you're saying when is your plan to have the rest of the posts out?
Insurance claim check gets here this week, and then I'll be able to pay for getting the posts out and paying for the dumpster to take them all.
I think we need to set a deadline.
What do you think? You think in the next like 30 days, 60 days? Like, what's your thought?
I'm hoping to get it out in 14 days.
The best laid plans don't necessarily,
Exactly, like I was supposed to do it last week, but it rained the whole weekend, so I couldn't do it then. So, Miami. And so if you want, within 30 days for sure, 14 days most likely.
As long as it's gone on, I'd kind of like to see the 14 days.
Mhm.
Unless you think your insurance company is not going to come through for you
I mean,
No,
that's
let's say the
pretty
check is
aggressive.
in transit,
in the mail.
not in the mail, but it says that it's being funded at the moment.
When's the next meeting?
30.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, with
Geez, until it's in your hands.
right, until it's in my bank account, nothing's for sure.
Are there outstanding fines on this case?
None.
None. Okay,
No, there is an order of,
right.
order of enforcement with the extension through June the 30th.
Mhm.
Then I guess extended.
Well,
But between that time, that's when he removed 4.5 tons worth of fence because February 15th was not.
Right, no, I was saying that,
June
there
30th,
was,
and now it's August 7th, and we're giving him another 30 days, so he's actually quite a bit beyond the compliance deadline.
So what they've had are orders of continuance and extension. They haven't had an actual final order.
So they haven't had,
A final order, which is the order where you give them a deadline or money will accumulate.
I'd like to make a motion to extend the time to come into compliance till should I do before, like that day or like,
this is our next hearing
yeah,
for a month. Miss September the 7th.
yeah, September the 7th.
I can do that.
September the 18th is the next hearing.
Right. But
Wanted to come into compliance by.
or
The 7th.
Oh, well,
7th, yeah, by the 7th, and that way it'll be before the meeting.
for the meeting, okay.
so come into compliance by having the rest of the fence removed
Hmm.
by 9/7 or $250 daily fine.
You want to, well, we are,
There is a
yeah,
daily
well, there
fine.
was already one there, or affirm the 250 per day fine.
Or from the $250 daily fine, but you'll be fine with that.
Correct.
That's because I'm
That's right.
looking at the order from February, there is the violation fine and there is the admin fine. It would still be outstanding, even though we've extended the daily.
Right.
The 500 is still needs to be paid, so
How much?
500,
Okay,
still $500 in fines for the violation and for the administrative costs.
all right, I'll do, I gotta, like I said, right now I don't have the funds, but I will have the funds.
Yeah, you can get with the village on that.
All right,
He's just making you aware, right now,
Yeah.
you have
That's
until
all.
the September the 7th,
correct.
move it all. If not, it'll start at 250.
Accumulate.
per day fine thereafter.
Okay,
Is that your motion, Michael?
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Good luck.
thank you, man. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Next item is 7.4. This is 1105 Northeast 117th Street. The case number is CEN-23-449. Property information protected. This is a violation for a driveway. And we're here for a progress report. This order of enforcement hasn't had any fees issued yet.
You guys heard this today, I wasn't here then. Get August 7th compliance date. Has he pulled the permit?
There is no permit. However, I would like to ask the board to consider a sample that I put in another case. There's a sample that was of a ribbon driveway, which I've included in another case, not this one, but looking at this picture, they're very similar driveways. We have quite a few residents that have these ribbon driveways that are considered conforming driveways. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I
Oh,
put my,
she shook her head. So I was wondering if the board would consider allowing the resident to comply with this method of adding gravel all the way into the,
We can't.
no?
Because this is an existing non-conforming, so it's grandfathered in.
That's right.
This gentleman and the other gentleman you're referring to,
Mhm.
they do not have approaches. They are
Right.
going to be brand new,
Mhm.
therefore they have to adhere to the code as it is today. They cannot do this driveway.
no,
I'm sorry.
well, in part, they need to go before P and Z because they can have the ribbon. What's missing on this,
It's just the approach.
giving
No,
some,
she's saying without the border. I'm sorry.
she was just using that as an example.
Mhm.
I was going to agree with you. This is not in compliance with the
Right.
code right now. With the addition of the
Approach.
concrete border
Mhm.
with the gravel,
Mhm.
then it comes into compliance.
Exactly.
But that would go before P and
E
D.
and Z,
And,
yeah.
but the example you're showing is not up to code.
The example is up to code. This was approved by P and D.
It's existing. This is an existing approach.
This particular example I'm giving, their driveway looked exactly like his driveway. They did this and we violated them because we thought it was non-conforming. Gage, the chairperson for P and D looked at it and that's why I included the email. He says as the ribbon driveway is a conforming driveway. Until it's damaged at 50%, they can keep it the way it is. Now, right, now there's a part of the driveway that's non-conforming, which is the approach. So if they can include the approach to a ribbon driveway, they will be in compliance.
Not without the border.
That's good.
Read what
Well,
Gage said.
mhm.
Read what Gage says.
Mhm.
The approach is existing but non-conforming. This gentleman doesn't have an approach.
Mhm.
The other gentleman you're referring to does
Doesn't.
not have an approach. The village doesn't give permits for non-conform. You have to conform to the code. That was made very clear in all the debates on the driveway.
Doreen, was that other example, did they have an approach or no?
In this example, they do have an approach now, but
Before.
before they didn't.
So
They had a ribbon driveway that looked exactly like this.
Basically, the idea was to keep the concrete, the pavement free of, the gravel.
Gravel. Mhm.
So there was, according to what we voted on in the commission, there was to be a concrete border at the edge to contain the gravel from
Right.
spilling out onto the street.
I agree.
I don't understand how anybody could consider that compliant with what was passed.
Well, we thought, just as you're saying, there's no border, we issued a violation for this. And the P and Z chair said this was okay. He's okay
See,
with
but
this.
this property doesn't have to have the border, just like someone could have an entire gravel driveway,
Mhm.
as long as it's maintained.
Mm.
They don't have to have the border right now either. They're legal, non-conforming. But you cannot go in tomorrow to the village and get a permit for a full, gravel driveway without borders. You can't do it. They're not going to give non-conforming permits.
well,
So yes, can the gentleman have gravel? Absolutely. Can he have it without borders? No.
May I speak?
I get it.
I,
Yes, sir.
If you're done,
Name and relationship.
my information's protected.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, I came here for the first time on May 15th. And I was given till today just to pull a permit. Now, what I had done was I had pulled all the information on permits. I went online. I got with Village of Biscayne Park where you fill it out for the permits and stuff. I don't know what it's called, but I've been in contact with planning and zoning and another lady for quite some time. And I'd like to read something to you real quick, if you don't mind. It's like a one paragraph. Okay.
Did you bring a copy of that you can leave? Because if you're.
See,
entering
my
something in
printer
seven-
broke. And that's why
That's the problem,
I asked
too.
somebody if we had if there was a printer here before we started. I came in early and there's no printer here. But I could, if you want to photograph it.
Staff can figure out their way, but we do have to have that.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
all right, driveway. Hello, as per your request, please see attached. In regards to your concerns about the ribbon driveway, below you will see a response from the village attorney. It does not appear that the code defines a driveway. Therefore, we have to use the words plain meaning. Webster's dictionary defines a driveway as a private road giving access from a public way to a building on abutting grounds. Based on this definition, I would suggest that a ribbon driveway is considered a parking surface under the code, and it would be grandfathered in as an existing non-conforming use.
Sir, with apologies, I'm going to interrupt you only because we have that letter already.
All right, well, do you have the second part I was just going to get
We
to?
have all of it.
Is the approach?
And see, here's the situation. He was incorrect. Ribbon driveways are considered.
I'm not, yeah, but I'm not, I'm also talking about, they can't, it says here, your attorney, village will not be able to issue a code violation for failure to comply with
We're
section.
past that, sir. I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
You're past that.
This attorney just gave me this.
There was more behind that last month.
Well, this is all I had to go on, ma'am.
There was more behind that last month, and having the Planning and Design Review Board Chair was here. Ribbon driveways are not non-conforming. They are conforming. They are a proper.
Correct.
So there is no reason.
It says here though, you can't install an approach because it's illegal.
That's not true, sir.
That's what it says here. It's your attorney. Go ahead.
We had this debate last month. We found that his initial information was not correct. You very definitely can install an approach because the approach will be conforming and the ribbon driveways are conforming.
So what do I do, ma'am?
You need to install the approach, sir.
Okay, install an approach of what? Can I go with like rock?
With a border.
With, okay, rock with a border. With a border.
That's just a suggestion. You'd have to go. to P-
No, I understand, but you gotta understand that I got this from your attorney. I didn't know that there was another meeting or,
Got way past that.
okay, I wasn't
You
aware.
got the first version.
Okay. That's the way it usually goes.
Yep.
Okay, so what do? I apply for a permit for, I talk to them. Don't talk to you. Talk to planning and zoning. Okay.
I mean, we've really been working with you much as we could. There's been.
I've only been here once, man.
But there's been nothing assessed to you. We've given you time. We need to set a solid.
Okay,
date
well,
For a permit. If you're
for a
not
permit?
correct.
Yeah, go ahead.
How long do you think you need?
I don't know. I don't know who to talk to. I gotta,
Any-
I'm
you-
not an architect. You gotta come up with drawings and everything and,
you're gonna need to find a contractor.
man, I'm on disability. Unbelievable.
I would suggest, from this far along, let's give him to September 30th to apply for the permit. But in this case, I do want to set a daily fine if he doesn't apply by then, which was not done back in May.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I my suggestion, I don't know how my board feels. My suggestion is to give you until September 30th to apply for a permit. And if not applied for by then a $250 daily
Okay,
fine.
you can buy my house. I thought you. And I've been here for 65 years. I grew up right here, law enforcement. That's how I
I
was
know.
disabled
I know your mom.
from Biscayne Park. I appreciate it. I like the Biscayne Park.
Chairperson, could you enter it as a motion? You entered it as a suggestion.
I don't have a second, so.
No, well, I think that was for discussion. I think we got to give him the time, but, he's operating under a letter that, was telling him that he didn't have a violation, and he's got to go through the process. I think I'd support a motion to set the date certain because, the owner, thinks that he can apply by that time, but he's got to go through the whole process. But I don't think that we, assess the daily fine just because he's operating under one set of conditions. He's been here one time. I think we, if we got to cross that bridge, we cross that bridge at that time, but let's give him a chance to just get the process going.
Michael, my concern is when you give a deadline with no consequences, there is zero incentive for meeting the deadline.
Right, and I'd like to point out, notice of violation was October of 2023. Had an order of enforcement, which in May, giving until August the 17th. So that's May, June, July, August. That's 3 months already. Giving another month, that's 4 months on addition to the original, just notice back in October of 2023 to.
I was advised by building and zoning that this was grandfathered in and it just hang on and they were gonna get me a
It
letter.
doesn't need to be grandfathered in.
I'm just telling you what I was
No, wait,
told.
but what I'm saying is that he's moving, based upon, a set of information that turns out, he's a letter behind.
What if we give him till October, Michael? Would that make it?
At last month's meeting, we discovered that information was not accurate. Gage was here, explained all the details. So it was inaccurately described. Ribbon driveways do not get grandfathered because they don't have to be.
What if we give him till October 30th?
September the 30th.
I think that's a significant amount of time considering how. far
That's
we are along.
30 plus.
Right, exactly.
That's what,
A little over, about
51 days,
right.
or more than 51 days. That's almost 2 months. I'll second the motion if you had made, if that was a motion. you made.
Yeah, my motion would be to come into compliance by applying for the permit by September 30th. If not, a $250 daily fine.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
You mean you were
No.
opposed? Our motion
No.
passes 4-1.
Item is 1107. I'm sorry, the item is 7.5. The address 1107 Northeast 117th Street. The case number is CEN-23-448 B Park 110 LLC in care of their registered agent IL Max LLC. This is an intent to lien for a driveway.
In your best guesstimate, is it likely going to be a tear down?
Is the property going to get tear down? He's here. He can.
Hello,
Would you identify yourself, sir, and your
Sure.
relationship to the property?
sure. Randy England, principal of B Park
I'm
110
sorry,
LLC.
you need to speak up.
Randy England, yeah, principal, B Park 110 LLC.
Okay, so tell us what the plans are.
Yeah, I have a full set of plans, if you'd like to review them. For the single family, it will be a tear down. We require additional time. We're preparing a package for submittal. We just require additional time to get the package submitted.
What kind of time you looking for?
90 days would be great if we can have that, because Durham is our issue. Because Durham is a little bit more, they require a little bit more red tape. But yeah, 90 days would be ideal.
Is there something on the property that It's got to get removed? Is there something on the property
Yes,
that,
there's an existing single-family home now.
no, but that requires Durham to get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a septic tank there, and anytime you're removing one and putting one in, you need, for both stages of the process, you have to go through
Okay.
paperwork.
I would like to add that this violation was issued to a previous owner, and he as a new owner held up because they wanted to put the plans together to be able to demolish. And correct, and it does take time to get these plans in place before they are submitted.
Quite honestly, I mean, we have to be realistic, much as we want to enforce our ordinances when you know you've got someone coming in that is either, if not a tear down, it's going to be mass demolition.
Correct.
We're hardly going to ask someone to push in at this point. So.
So it would be up to the board to decide, since he wasn't the original receiver of this violation, to dismiss it. And I think that was the intention. However, we were waiting to have the plans in the system or the application in the system before we can ask to get rid of this case. He has been several times to the village. I'm not sure if they've submitted the
Did
plans.
submit a set of plans to come into compliance with the current violation.
Yeah, because
We have not submitted the plans for this
The
new construction.
actual,
Exactly,
yes, they
because
do have,
we knew where we were out of compliance, and so we wanted to get in compliance, so we submitted something for the purposes of that reason.
right, and I would like to enter onto the record permit number DWS 24-44 for the driveway. Permit was submitted for the driveway.
What, so you were gonna put in the driveway and tear the house down?
Well, we just wanted to get into compliance, right? So I know there's fines attached to it, and I know we would like to just be in compliance with the city, or the village rather, Biscayne Park. So that was the intent of doing the permit. In lieu of course, submitting, what we would do at the time is just really just replace the submittal at that point.
So again, this board can consider to dismiss this case and either wait for them to submit the new permits, give them some type of condition, because this violation is not practical, considering that they are planning to build a brand new house.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to make them do that.
Someone to put all that time, effort and money.
Into something,
And
correct.
So
Can we, I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask, gentlemen, said approximately 90 days before you'll be in a place to submit this to the village?
Yes, I feel pretty confident we can, because we're preparing for the submittal now. So within 90 days, I think it's plenty. of time.
You might not have to worry about a driveway
No, probably.
in the meantime.
Right.
Can we bring it back at November's meeting?
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd entertain dismissing this.
Okay.
Right.
Because,
And it start from, yeah.
Over.
because if something
Good
isn't,
point.
if something isn't done timely, then the code officers will be back out there
Correct.
to
I
start the
agree.
site.
I agree. That
Yeah.
makes more sense.
So on case number CEN-23-448, I would move to dismiss.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
May I confirm the dismissal includes the fines?
Includes the fine,
Yeah,
dismiss
yeah,
yeah,
just dismiss it.
case and fines in total.
Gail and Judy.
All set? Thank you.
Next item, 7.6. The address is 10901-03 Northeast 10th Avenue. Case number CEN-23-12 for Luis Gutierrez and his wife Maria Sabio. This is a progress report for a driveway.
Good evening.
We have
Madam-
council present.
Madam Chair, members of the board. I was here in June, asked you for some time. You graciously granted it. My clients have since hired our builder's crew. Here is the principal. He has already met with the city zoning commission to discuss options for to avoid ripping out all of the concrete, because prior contractor installed two very large concrete pads that extended, that crossed the city property from the street. So rather than rip everything out, which is expensive in and of itself, and then repouring, we're trying to see what options are available, what the city will allow. And we have the permit prepared, ready to be submitted, but until he gets proper feedback from them exactly what is going to be done, he could draw up the plans and submit them. So we're well on our way.
And I would like to confirm that the contractor has been in the office and we are in discussion.
Okay, that,
And I do want to confirm too that the property owners have paid the two basic fines.
That's correct.
Did put a good faith effort.
Yes, ma'am.
so we're moving along
Yep.
and just need more time.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
We give them 2 months instead of next month.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Please.
2 more months.
You can,
Okay.
sir, can you make our meeting in, bear with me?
Well, so you've already pulled
So
everything that we need.
He has, if I may, he has set to appear on the 19th with planning and zoning.
So in next meeting, I am in the agenda to
19.
speak formally with the commissioner to try to
And
get
no,
the
that's-
best way.
Oh,
to
August
get
19th, that's
correct.
great.
Correct.
What about till, our meeting? I mean,
In September
if
then,
that-
yeah,
well, if everything, since how they paid the previous fines and all.
yeah.
If
we really
if
need
they
them,
pull
right.
it and come in.
Yeah.
The village, have the village just,
You can just let us know.
That's correct. We can give you a progress report.
Paid the fines.
Yeah.
They're certainly well on their way. You've got a scheduled date in planning and zoning. There's no real reason.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Back in here.
Right.
You guys, if you would, just put it on September's meeting to update it.
And if something
Noted.
changes between now and then, you could just email me and let me know we need to come in. We'll be happy to come in.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank
Does
you. Have a
someone wanna
great
make
evening.
motion?
Thank you very much.
on case number CEN 23 I'd like to make a motion to, close the case as the fines have been paid. And direct the village to give us an status update on the next meeting.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you so much.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you both.
Next item, 7.7. The address is 11331 Northeast 11th Place, case number CEN 24-275. Property owners are 11331 Northeast 11th Place LLC, in care of their registered agents, Marquise Esteban. This is a violation for a driveway. We're asking for an order of enforcement. This case was continued from July 17th, and they have applied for a permit, I believe. Have they?
Yes, a permit was applied for. That's DW-24-40.
It just hasn't been any progress on the permit. Yes, I looked at it. There hasn't been any any progress. They applied and they were continued from July. So we are now asking for an order of enforcement to be put in place. For an order of enforcement to be put in place.
And they did start the application, but that's what, it's kind of in limbo.
They applied, but there has been no progress in the application process. They haven't submitted the required paperwork.
Yeah. They figured out how. Okay. We need a motion.
All right, I'd like to make a motion in case number CEN 24-275. That they're in violation, a violation has occurred. A fine of $250, administrative costs of $250, and to come into compliance by September the 24th. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
You want to use the
Never
apply
mind.
by dates. You want to
Yeah.
use the second row, the apply
Second.
by dates.
To apply, oh, they've already applied for the permit.
Oh,
So
thank
To
you.
come into
Right.
compliance by obtaining a permit by September the
23rd?
24th.
September the 13th. They already have.
Okay.
They have
Gotcha.
hearings the 12th, the 30th.
You're
and-
right. So compliance by the 13th of September?
Right, not a $250 per day fine thereafter.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next case. Number 7.8, the address is 11345 Northeast 9th Court. Case number CEN 23-341 with William Lumry is here tonight. Progress report on a driveway. And this is another case that I hang myself to ask if they could do what their neighbors did, but it's up to the board.
If you can put, well, first of all, it's kind of a reminder. The compliance date was June 5th. We're now 2 months later. From something that started May of 2022. We're now 2 years later. So as you've heard, you can put in a gravel approach. You can put in a gravel approach as long as that gravel approach has the borders. It has to conform to current code because you do not have an approach.
Do you need a permit for that?
Yes, you do.
A different permit from,
I need you
a
to
different
do that.
permit from what I already have. It's all done now. I have the notice of, commencement. It's all,
So Mr. Lomry has been in the office and we had him sit with our resident volunteer, Miss Linda Dillon. She went through the process of the application with him on paper. All he has to do now is bring that application to his contractor, and we did call the contractor and speak to his wife, is to upload it to the system so we have a number and
Right.
the process can go on. He had a lot of difficulties because he has no access to a computer. And
Right.
we helped him in the office with the resident volunteer.
Thank you all.
And so what is the status of it now? It's,
He
Real?
has all the paperwork. The contractor
All
just
done. Yep.
have to upload it. There's things we can do and things we can't do on their behalf. So
It's really much on the contractor's end.
that's correct. The contractor has to upload it now.
Valuation, whatever, so
Mhm.
we really need to set a deadline, I believe, for that. Considering how long this has been going on, we need to set a deadline for final documentation.
okay, so
Yep.
what do we have now? We have the permit? Is that what we're saying?
Yep.
Started the process.
Okay.
All Documentation is not there.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, it is. It's,
It
it's all
is-
done. This is
it's
the
all
last,
done.
this is the,
That's-
this is the last one.
But you've got to have your contractor submit your plans,
He's got it. Everything,
It just needs to be submitted?
That's
your
it.
contractor has submitted everything.
except the notice of commencement, which I got signed today.
It's not what we're hearing from staff.
No,
Yeah,
they're saying that the city doesn't have the documents.
Yet, your contractor has to upload the documents to the village portal.
Has to be done online, sir. He's going to have to upload them in the proper format
right.
online.
Remember when Miss Linda spoke with your contractor's wife? She explained to him that all this paperwork has to be uploaded through the village portal. So the building clerk can see all the information from there, and then she'll be able to move with your permit.
Well, he told me just the other day that he has completed everything except for the notice of commencement. This is all,
Sir, he may have completed it,
Oh.
but the village doesn't have it.
He has to upload
he has
it.
to upload it. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Sir,
all right. Okay, well, I'll see him tomorrow, so to give him this.
And also, Mr. Lomery, the fines have not been paid yet. You still owe $500. If that permit is uploaded, you still have to pay the $500 because there's already an order of
Did you
enforcement.
know $500 fines? Those are still owed. And we need to set some sort of incentive to getting these things uploaded.
Right. The compliance date was July.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I've called him
it-
several times.
When do you plan to talk to your contractor, sir?
Tomorrow, to give him this,
Thursday?
So tomorrow, or what's tomorrow? Thursday or Friday? Thursday or Friday?
Okay.
This is completed.
No one has any other questions?
well, we need to ask for an extension on the compliance date so the 250 daily doesn't keep
But the two
through.
still owes.
He still owes the 500,
in the admin fund.
right? The extension would ask for is on the daily fine.
Not into the dailies yet unless the documents don't get loaded.
Uploaded.
I was gonna suggest, September 13th, to have all the documents properly loaded to the village. If not, sir, then you will enter into a daily fine of $250 if my board agrees.
Okay.
That's my motion.
It's just to get the permit issue.
But he's,
Get the permit.
all of this is not here yet, so that's why. Sure.
Yeah.
But that's, at least if everything's here, he's technically complied, then it comes there, they will decide what else they might need. He's done the best he could at that point.
Okay, so like what, because I mean, obviously I remember from the last meeting, he doesn't have a computer, he doesn't have
Correct.
any of that stuff.
Mhm. He's working with a contractor.
Once the contractor gets that in, there's 2 meetings between now and September 13th. So will it automatically, somebody will be in contact with the contractor to make sure that,
That's correct. Once the application is in the system, it's prompted to the building clerk's itinerary, and she's able to see who has submitted an application, what's needed, if there's anything missing, she communicates with the contractor.
and in your conversations, I don't know if it was Vanessa or you, but with the contractor, did that person had an aptitude for the computers and everything, or was there some difficulty there too?
The contractor, we didn't speak to directly. We spoke with his wife, and she said she would relay the message that all the paperwork is now done and all he has to do is upload it.
Okay.
Once he uploads the information, we'll have it in the system and we can communicate with him. The building department will communicate with him directly.
I think the important thing is that it gets uploaded and with the.
Correct.
Because then if it's the village's delay,
Yeah,
they can always come back and say.
And ask for more time.
"We
Which is
asked for an
problem,
extension."
sure.
okay.
But the main thing is to move to have it uploaded,
Mhm.
at least the process started.
All right, so I would like to make a motion.
Well, could I ask you a question on the notice of commencement? It says the expiration date is 1 year from the date of recording unless a different date is specified.
This board wouldn't be able to give you that answer. That's from the building department. You just have to go by this order that they are giving you now here.
So is it a year after the commencement?
The driveway, it's 6 months?
6 months,
6
Permit
months.
is-
6
6
months
months?
permit.
6 months after the commencement date?
6 months after the issuance of the permit,
Permits issued. Oh,
Once-
permits issued. Oh,
correct?
okay, not the commencement date.
Okay.
Not the, okay,
So, if
I see
no
what
one
you're
else has any questions,
okay.
in CEN 23-341, I'd like to give the property owner until September 13th to have all his documents properly loaded to the village regarding his approach to his driveway. If not in compliance, then a $250 daily fine as of September 14th.
I'll second.
September.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Lomery, get with the contractor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Item number 7.9. This is for the property located at 11402 Northeast 8th Court. Case number CEN-24-114 for Adam G. Phelan. This violation was for a vehicle that was left on the property abandoned. Fines have been paid, so this particular case is in compliance. I'll jump to 7.11. 7.11 was a violation for the fence for the same address, same owners. This case is also in compliance. Fines were paid this evening.
7.9 and 7.11 are compliant.
Are in compliance and fines are paid.
We need to. In the case.
Sorry, did I say 7.11? 7.12 is in compliance. 7.11 is not. I'm so sorry.
What about 7.10?
7.10 is in compliance.
7.9?
7 point,
Because I had the car towed when I found out about,
I didn't even look at this one. Yes,
nightmare.
7.9 is in compliance, 7.10 is in compliance, and 7.12 is in compliance.
Okay.
Now, we still have a violation open, and he can confirm that for the fence,
Yeah, I didn't,
the chain link
yeah,
fence.
just, I didn't know about it. So what happened is the property was rented. I'm
Would
sorry.
you wait for the board?
Oh, sorry.
Just a second.
Sorry.
You would identify yourself and your relationship to the property.
Sure, sir. My name is Brian Kutsia, and I'm actually the, representing them. I'm actually the brother of the wife of Adam Phelan. So
Brother-in-law.
I'm the brother-in-law. I was the developer that was going to develop the property, and it's my sister that owns the property, my sister and Adam Phelan. So what happened was, it was my company that was going to develop the property, and then what happened is another gentleman that's there now came in, and we decided for him to take over the property, at which point, what he had decided to do is rent the property from them for a certain amount of time, get all the permits, get everything organized, and develop the property, which he's supposed to still be doing. The fact that my sister and brother-in-law weren't living at the property and didn't know is how everything kind of got out of whack. But as soon as they found out about the car, they had it towed, and now they're away getting their kids at college, and they wanted to make sure that they didn't show up. So they asked me to come in just to step in and make sure and find out what we
then-
need to do, what has to be done, and we'll make sure we take care of it.
So then on 9, 10, and 12, we effectively need to close the case.
That's correct.
So that's what I wanted to get to. Deal with the ones that we,
Deal with those first.
and then we'll talk the last one.
Yeah, and then,
I'll make, just a second.
sure, sure.
On case number CEN-24-114, that was item 7.9. And on case number CEN-24-153, item 7.10. And on case number CEN-24-174, that was agenda item 7.12. I'd like to move to close.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
Five zero.
5-0.
5-0, sorry. I keep saying four.
So th-
So again, that
That's
is.
it. Everything's done, right? Which one,
I
12?
think I've got the.
9,
fence.
10, and
Oh, 10,
9,
10.
and 12. Number 11 is the one.
Got it,
12.
got it. Hold on a sec.
So for 11, the fine has been paid, but the chain link fence,
Yeah, just let me know what I need to do. I'll make sure it gets done, and if you can give me a little bit of, like, whatever time needs to be done, I'll make sure they get back from dropping the kids at college and all that by Friday. So, I'll make sure that by the next meeting, I'll let them know what needs to be done and handle it myself if need be, getting permits or at least start the process of whatever needs to be done. I just wanted to make sure that they stay.
You said the fines.
the fines were paid. Now, depending on if they want to build a fence, you would need permits. If you just want to remove that part, which looks like it's already
I'd
on
like
the
to do
ground.
that because we're going to develop the property. So instead of building something to take
No,
down like
they're
the other, I
down.
appreciate, I know you had said earlier, so maybe,
They were paid this afternoon.
Yeah.
So if you can remove that chain link fence that's down,
yes.
we can ask the board to close the case at the next
that'll-
meeting.
If you can give me a,
Follow up,
Absolutely.
that would be my motion. Property owner has said he's going to remove the fence.
Yeah.
Once that's down, close the case.
I'll second that. That's a motion.
And
All in
you've,
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
so I have to have that removed by, I mean, I'm gonna probably get it done by this week, but
2
I'll-
weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, I'll make sure, but, okay.
Always give him the date.
So, thank you. Yeah, just have, so it needs to be, I'm not even 100% sure. I'm gonna drive by and look at it now, but it's down or it just needs to be removed, the whole thing?
Yeah.
It just, the
For
chain link
August-
fence needs to just be gone from the property.
August 21st, sir.
Yes.
Okay,
To have it.
Find the
We're good?
picture and-
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll give you a picture of the violation. Give him the picture. Welcome, sir. Next item, 7.13, address 11443 Northeast Sixth Avenue. This is CAN-22-80 for Pablo Marcos. There was an extension on the comply by date already on this case. It was property maintenance for a dirty roof. Mr. Murphy, their previous contractor, has dropped out of this case, and they just had a change of contractor done. So there's been delays in compliance for this particular case. The permit was finally issued on June 25. And they are asking for another extension in order to go.
Clean the roof or are they replacing?
So what, we had issued a violation for the dirty roof a long time ago. If you can see, this violation was issued in 2022 for a dirty roof. However, Mr. Murphy, the contractor, the roofing contractor, came in and said he's replacing the roof. So we held on to this violation and gave them time to be able to go through the application process for the permit. And then they fell out, the contractor and the property owner. They now have a new contractor who went through the permitting process, and the permit was finally issued on June 25.
For the new roof. For a new roof.
I'm sorry?
For a new roof.
To replace the roof, that's correct.
This is another situation. We find ourselves stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, property owner, we issued an order in January with a February compliance.
Mhm.
They didn't even apply until May. So already kind of don't take deadlines too seriously from the beginning. And then now what are you gonna do? If they've had to get a new contractor, that's not exactly uncommon in South Florida. So you've got to work with them, but
Well, I have a question, Janie, is that there's already a daily fine accruing
Mhm.
and so until they requested an extension.
that's, well, I can tell you, we had a case similar to this, may have been one of the ones when you were out, where someone, almost similar situation, came in for an extension well after the fact. And rather than grant the extension, we said, keep going on your project. When it's final, when it's signed off on, come back with a fine reduction request.
I remember.
I'm still, where did we grant an extension? Because I'm looking, all I see
We
is the
didn't.
order of enforcement.
We did.
So we haven't granted.
No.
So-
No, there's no extension. We were asking for an extension on the comply by date so that they don't have fines running, accruing at $250 a day.
But they didn't comply by the date way back then,
They didn't comply by the date of the order
clean the roof or
or replace it.
replace it.
And that order of enforcement was issued January 17,
They didn't,
2024.
they didn't apply for the permit for 3 months after the order. That's why
I would
the
rather.
light
just-
bulb lit up. I would rather let it go.
And they can, after
Mhm.
it's all finalized,
Yep.
ask for a
Reduction.
fine reduction.
Exactly.
Because right now, nothing tells us that the roof is going to,
Right.
And
permit's going to be pulled for the roof.
the reason I
Yes.
think that's so critical is consistency is critical for us. And this is, again, a very similar case to one we had a few months back. We didn't grant the extension, told them about how to go through a fine reduction.
If you don't mind, I'll make a motion on CEN-22-80, to deny the extension of comply by date.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 7.14. This is for the address 11505 Northeast 11th Place for case number CEN-24-213. This is for Mitera 2 LLC in care of their registered agent Cabrera Rigoberto. This is an intent to lien for a walkway that was installed without permits. Now, they have paid the $250, a total of $500 for fines on the order of enforcement. However, daily fines have accrued from July 18th, when they were supposed to comply. They haven't complied. They haven't applied for permits. So as of today, they have $5,000 in fines that have accrued daily and continue to accrue from today.
And no permit.
No permit. As of today, we checked.
We want to give them one last chance?
No.
The fines are accruing.
You asking me, that was my opinion.
In general.
In general, I would say that, I mean, I would like to give them an opportunity to pay the lien prior to filing it.
Or the
And so,
intent to lien usually works to alert them to do that.
right, exactly. Anybody else? Nobody's.
Okay.
wants to- I'll make a
Yeah,
motion.
I agree.
On case number CEN-24-213, direct the village to proceed with the intent to lien, $5,000 plus the applicable filing fees.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 7.15. The address is 11623 Northeast 11th Place. This is for case number CEN-22-120 for Charles Francois and his wife Eurydice. They're asking for an intent to lien on a driveway violation, which our research shows that they had applied for a permit, but they haven't scheduled to go before Planning and Design Board. We've been in communication with Mr. Francois, and as of today, there has been have they been scheduled? Do you know if they've been scheduled? Or PNC?
This correctly, that from January, where it was first communicated that the documents were not properly uploaded,
That's correct.
didn't hear from the property owner until August.
That's correct. He said he was out of town and he had sent his daughter to the PND meeting, just a whole bunch of miscommunication. But time has elapsed. This violation was issued in 2022.
Yeah, well,
Right.
I'm just looking that there was an order of enforcement
Mhm.
and to comply by April the 2nd.
Correct.
And I didn't see a figure in here, but my calculations is that there's the fine of $250, the admin fee of $250. Plus, I calculated the number of days
Daily.
were 128 days, which comes out to 32,000 plus the $500, 32,500. What I came up with.
At this point, I would support an intent to lien.
Yes,
Is that your motion?
yes. I was just waiting for the village. It looks like they're,
You're right.
okay.
That's been,
In case number CEN-22-120, I'd like to make a motion to have the village move with an intent to lien of a total of 32,500 as of August the 7th of 2024, plus filing fees.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. 5-0.
5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. 5 The next case is item 7.16, address 11704 Northeast 11th Place, case number CEN 22-121, Almir Dacuna. We are asking for a comply by date extension on this particular case for a driveway because their driveway is just pending a final inspection.
I was gonna say, I feel like they pulled the permit in time.
And the work has been done and they are awaiting a final
Missing
inspection.
something.
The only thing is that the comply by date was January 17th to, so there was the 250 that could have run daily to now, and we need to erase that.
But when we say comply by dates, we mean have the permit and everything in order. They can't necessarily be final by then.
Okay, so we have to have it on the record. Okay, yes.
There's no, really, if he's got a daily accruing, that should go away.
Correct.
Should have stopped the day of the permit.
Because we gave them.
The permit has been issued, has been in,
I think the fine should be stopping the day the permit is issued.
Exactly,
right.
absolutely.
So then what we would ask for, without me looking at the amount, would be if there were any fines that accrued between when the time the order was issued and the time
Because
the,
need the deadline, bear with
they
me.
did.
Get this all down neatly. Okay, it was a few days later.
Correct, so,
Comply by Date was February, no, I'm wrong. Comply by date was February 20. Their permit shows as being issued on January 29th. So they complied.
so can we consider that, that violation complied?
Really could be with other than the original, and there was no original, it looks like. Yep, there was no violation fine nor admin fine, so this really should be dismissed and any outstanding fines be removed. And that would be my motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Zeros. Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
It's in compliance, they can go. There's a request to call a case in new business. They have an emergency and they have to leave. It's 8.5. It's for the address 11619 Northeast Sixth Avenue. Case number CEN 24-128 for Monty.
Hang on.
Monty and Anat Vinograd. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, very well, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I also think this resident came in after everyone was sworn in. So if he's going to talk, he needs to be sworn in.
Oh.
Swear in the gentleman.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
We were going to ask for an order of enforcement in this case. It's a fence violation. However, they are in compliance as of today.
I'm sorry.
No, because the color of the.
That was all done with permit.
Something different.
Sorry?
That was all done
No,
with
it's the same
permit.
as it was before.
The fence.
Oh, yeah.
Fence was
But
done
it was
with
the
the
same
permit.
exact thing as we had before.
Oh,
I-
it's darker.
Yeah.
Well, it's just because it's fresh, it's not full of mold and mildew.
Exactly.
Yes, so it's fresh.
Struck my attention because I was driving and.
Nice job.
Thank you. We did it ourselves. Yeah,
Very cool.
it's my friend and I, we did it. Diego helped me and I did it myself.
Yeah.
I do interiors, so if anybody wants me to do their interior, I'll be happy to help.
And if there are no questions, I'd like to make a motion on case number CEN 24-128. The property is coming to compliance and close the case.
Second.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very
Aye.
much for
Aye.
moving me forward.
Yes, sir.
I believe he by 10-year-old alone, if not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case in old business, hold on you. It's case number CEN 23-339 for the property located at 11921-23 Northeast 12th Avenue for Alette Romaine and Jean M. Pierre. We are here for a progress report on a driveway.
What is that lady?
I'm Arlette owner, Arlette Romaine, the owner of the property.
So bring us up to date on where you are.
Excuse me?
Bring us up to date on where the driveway.
Okay, I was told to submit the document on the 29th. I submitted the document on the 25th and I was told to come here on the 5th. Monday when I called about the meeting and they told me that since I didn't come, so I have to come today. Since they didn't receive it, I have to come today to beg for another date, which is the 19th. And which is not fair because I submitted the document on the 25th. The contractor submitted it on the 25th. And now I have to come here again to ask for another date to come back on the 19th, which I don't understand.
So Ms. Arlette, there's a difference between this board and the Planning and Design Review Board, and those dates and these dates don't always go together. The reason we asked you to come here is for you, for you to ask, so that you can ask for more time and so that the fines don't run on your violation. The PND calendar is different from ours.
Okay, so
what
I'm all
happens there?
confused. I'm all confused. I am because I submitted it, everything on the 25th, and I was told to come back on the 29th for the meeting.
But this meeting was scheduled way before the 25th.
Which
Or a
meeting?
progress report. Remember, you met with the chairperson here in the last meeting?
Right, they told me
And
to
the
come
o-
back on the
Correct.
5th. which
The
was-
order for the code board was for you to bring a progress report.
Oh, okay.
Whatever happens in PND, you have to come back and report to this board.
Okay, so
Ma'am,
what do I do now, please? Because I don't know.
I think we've really tried to work with you. I'm sorry to remind you again, but your original notification as to the problem was in April of 2022.
Okay,
We really have been working with you, but yes, there are two different meetings that are involved. One, you're appearing to get the structure of what you're going to get done, get your permits approved. This is because a violation did occur.
okay.
I have a
So-
question of the village. Is she on the agenda, P and Z for August the 19th?
Ye-
I mean, if the documents were submitted?
The documents they are looking for have not yet been submitted from what I'm hearing. So I don't believe they've added her on the agenda. Are you sure about that?
Because I was
No.
told to.
Did
to
you submit all-
the plan?
You
and the
did?
contractor submitted the plan,
Did
on
he?
the
When-
25th.
Do we have that in the system? Give us a second, we'll just make sure. I was getting conflicting information.
Just to throw something else out there, there's still $375. fine.
Correct, she paid some and there's
That,
still
I will
some.
pay that, that's okay. I will
Still
pay.
$375 out there.
Yeah, 375 is not a big deal.
Okay.
Whoever gonna get it, will get it.
One second, Mr.
As of August 1st, the new plans were submitted by the contractor. So
That's first,
August 1st. So at this point,
Since
new plans.
we're
submitted on
They were submitted.
first, not July 25.
So
Okay.
they could act, he could act, she could actually get on the August and
Ye-
P and Z.
Correct. Yes, you can.
Now that she has all the paperwork, she probably can get onto the next meeting. But we can't tell her that. We don't make that agenda. She'll have to communicate with that board, with the clerk for that board.
Okay, so
So for us,
Okay,
we've got a status report.
Right.
Okay.
You submitted your documents. I mean, your contractor submitted the documents. We have a progress report. You need to get with P and Z about, or the village, to see if you're on the next P and Z hearing. They have a hearing coming up in a week and a half,
On the 19th.
August the 19th.
There's still time. I think they can put you on that agenda, but you have to communicate with Denise.
August the 9th, she has till the 12th to final everything.
Can I, by Friday the 9th, you need to talk to the building department to be sure that they add you to the 19th. So Friday is the deadline to get on to the 19th.
okay.
And one more thing, Miss Arlette, when you go to the P&D board, they don't know anything about what's happening here. So when you complain about the violation over there, which I believe happened,
Mhm.
they will be just as ignorant as I am about what happens at P&D. This is a different
Okay.
section, yeah.
Okay, just to clarify this one more time, on the 25th, on my phone, I received an email saying that, okay, it was received. On the 26th, I received another email saying that, how come you didn't send anything? So I clarified with whoever sent me the email, and it was there. It was submitted on the 25th.
Raphael, can you confirm that?
Once again, they have your documents.
Mhm.
The date for us, you've provided it. All we want to know is a progress report. You submitted your documents. You just
Okay.
you need to go before the P and Z board to see if your documents meet or approved so that you can start with your driveway.
Okay, so why I couldn't come on Monday to the thing? Why? That's what I'm saying.
We're not the board you need to
Okay, not
ask.
you, but okay, but when I called, why I couldn't come on Monday to dispute it? Remember you told me to come on Monday, the 5th, to come and dispute it. I couldn't come because they told me I don't live here. To come here back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is so unfair and messed
Well,
up.
the village will be able to help you more than we can right now. We needed a progress report to show that you had taken initiative to get the ball rolling to get it done.
Which you did.
And what you did, we're acknowledging that.
Okay,
We will probably still want a progress report next month.
Yeah.
But the village, if you've gone through it and achieved the
Got the permit.
permit, that should be.
Every community down in this state, pretty much, if you are doing any building or anything, you need to go in and get permits. You need to be a part of the process. Because this started with you being out of compliance, you're now in two boards. The board that does the building and the board that assesses fines. So
Okay.
this is the board that assesses fines. We're trying to keep you out of hot water. So
Okay.
in order to keep you out of hot water, you need to come.
If everything, all your application, all your papers, et cetera, are in by August 12th, you should be able to be on the August 19th meeting.
That's correct.
Will hopefully get you a whole lot further along.
Okay, so who do I contact? Contact Denise?
So to clarify,
Yes,
contact Denisha. The email she sent you on the 25th was just to tell you that you've been tabled. It
okay,
wasn't to say that your plans have been submitted. I
okay.
have a comment in there that says you submitted your plans
Mhm.
on the 1st because I verified it.
Okay.
So get in touch with Denisha, so you
Mhm.
can get on to the next board meeting.
Okay. What
Okay.
is Denisha's extension? Do you know? 23.
2313.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But we would like this to come back in September.
September.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna make the motion that in CEN 23-339, table this until September meeting, and
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0.
Was it Jenny and Dale?
Jamie,
and Judy.
Judy.
Janie and Judy.
J and J.
2 J's.
Next item is 7.18. The address is 12035 Northeast Fifth Avenue, case number CEN 24-129, Ricard Finan Costa and Ricardo Juan Costa. We are bringing this violation for an intent to lien on the fines that were issued on the order of enforcement. The violations are in compliance. However, the fines of $500 have not been paid.
Okay, if nobody objects, I'd like to make a motion on CEN 24-129. Direct the village to move to lien $500 plus the applicable filing fees.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
New business. 8.1, the address 844 Northeast 121st Street, case number CEN 24-389 for Darlene Metaier. This violation for a driveway is now in compliance.
Yeah. That was my comment. Looks good.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
On case number CEN 24-389, I make a motion to close, properties in compliance and to close the case.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
The next case is 8.2, 930 Northeast 121st Street, case number CEN 24-524, Quattro Developers LLC, in care of the registered agent, Alan Pearl. This was a request for an administrative hearing for a citation, $25 owed. As of today, this violation has been paid and in compliance.
On case number CEN 24-524, I'll move to close the case while citation has been paid.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
So putting the garbage can behind a chain link fence is compliant?
That's a very good question. Thank you.
I mean, that's,
Are we considering that that picture that we got that shows the cans behind the chain link fence makes it compliant?
Say that again?
The ordinance reads that it has to be shielded from view.
Right, right.
The pictures we have don't show them shielded from view.
Do we have a compliance picture for that case? Chain link fence, Raphael?
But may I point out that it was just for, to contest the
Oh,
administrative.
for the administrative citation, that's correct.
That's all, I'm complying.
That's correct.
That's this thing. If
Right.
If the village needs to recite, they recite.
Oh, we recite these,
But
Yep.
Janie, no, look at what we have. It's request for administrative hearing for citation 25-0.
is she talking about the previous case for the fence?
If the village,
Thank you.
thinks this,
You're right.
then they need to go out and
Do it
recite.
again. You're right. It's paid. It's why it's in compliance.
Right.
Mhm. Because that's also though, just brings up something that people don't realize. It's not
Oh.
behind the facing of the house. It's gotta be shielded from view.
Which one are you talking about? Fence? 8.2 for the chain link fence? Raphael, what's the question?
No, but Dale's right. The point is the payment. Anything else is a later issue.
You say the case is in compliance. I'm asking which case are you? All right,
No,
all right. With administrative citations, just like Dale explained, that violation, once they pay, we close it. We can go back and we can issue them for a second offense. Next item is 8.3, and it's for the address 981 Northeast 113th Street, case number CEN 24-466. Renee was here earlier, but he left because he knows that this case is in compliance. However, when you look in, did we put in another compliance picture? Now, when you look at that compliance picture and the original picture for the original violation is in compliance. I have asked our inspectors to issue another violation for a second offense.
For me.
Correct. This is a different violation, and I hate to have to put it in here as a compliance picture, but I would like to put it on the record that we will issue another property maintenance violation for this trash.
This we should just close.
This case is in compliance because that trash was taken away.
Okay, and my motion, if nobody has any other comments, my motion in CEN 24-466 is to close the case. These property owners come into compliance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Next case is 8.4 for 11320 Northeast 11th Place. It's for case number CEN 24-274. J&B Management Associate LLC in care of their registered agent, Marie Louise J. We asking for an order of enforcement for a driveway. There is no permit in the system and it's non-compliant.
I'm so glad to see a property representative here, because honestly, the first thing I was gonna ask is, when was the last time you talked to a property owner? Because when you look at that property, it looks abandoned. There are times that the construction fence has been ripped. There's a garden growing out of the roof, or at least there was. So it's nice to see there is someone here, and if you would, sir, identify yourself and your position with the regard to the home.
Absolutely. My name is Jason Vanderpool. I recently came on board as one of the new owners on the property. It's been the same company. I just have been attached to the LLC recently. So the project has been halted for various reasons, and it's been taking a lot longer than extrude. Yes, as much of a pain as it is on your eyes, it's an even bigger pain on us.
We gotta look at it.
Yeah, so it's been for financial reasons, and we're getting the ball rolling again, and we're back underway. We've had another round of inspections after the insulation. I think we're going to be closing up the walls now, so we're working on the project, and we're pulling the funds from wherever we can. As far as the driveway, that is definitely in the scope of work. We have not pulled a permit because there is tremendous amount of work that needs to be done before we start putting down deposits on that. So I would hope we could get a little bit more lenient, since seeing as the permits are newly renewed, and we are currently working on the project.
Staff, a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
Are there any outstanding violations on this property? And if so, are there any outstanding fines?
Outstanding violations? Do we have any citations on this property?
So we have 2 violations and then 1 plumbing permit.
So 2 violations plus the plumbing issue?
Yes, the one for the driveway and
Construction fence?
Doreen,
fence maintenance on the second one.
did you say, I thought you said that there was no driveway permit?
There is no driveway permit.
There is not.
There is a driveway violation, but not a permit.
Okay, and you just told us that the driveway was within the scope of,
I didn't say that.
it was
I'm saying
not.
we have not gotten to start on that yet because, yeah.
Backstory on this, 'cause this has been ongoing for a while, so I'm trying to see what outstanding violations are there? Are there fines outstanding, so that perhaps now that we're seeing there is a representative, you folks can work with him to bring all these other issues into the picture too, while we're dealing with this. Are there any permits pulled for anything? Because obviously you've got more plans than put in a driveway.
You're right.
Are you anticipating, and I realize maybe you can't give me all the answers tonight, are you anticipating a major reno, or are you
Yes.
anticipating a tear down?
Very big reno. So
Sorry, reno?
yes, reno complete remodel.
but not a major tear down.
No.
That makes me happier.
Were you on that project since the beginning,
The way. the back-
but not necessarily on the paperwork?
Yeah, correct,
I'm
correct.
sorry.
So we only have one violation for the driveway, and we issued a courtesy notice for the fence. So
Okay.
that will be escalated if there's no compliance.
The
There's a-
fence, as in the white part of the fence, or,
Yes,
okay,
and
so how would we rectify that?
if you get with the inspector, he'll be able to tell you, or we can print you a copy of the courtesy notice so you know what it was about.
Okay.
There is only one open permit for plumbing, but that looks like a major project, and I'm wondering what else is going on inside.
Yeah, we should have had all the permits pulled. I'll check with the contractor and find out exactly what's going on. Like I said, I'm not.
That's a problem.
Not the head of the project, so I just standing in because Joyce, who's on the paperwork, had to be out of town for medical emergency.
And you had indicated that there was a bunch of inspections recently done?
Yeah, I think we had some inspections recently. The inspector came in,
What kind of inspection?
probably for the installation.
It's not possible when there are no
Can't have-
permits in the system unless there's something in BSNA. Do we have old permits in BSNA? I'll check.
Mm.
I see that it looks like a big project. I'll have to go into an old system. Do you know how long ago this?
The city of the village of El Portal actually lost the paperwork. at
El
one point.
Portal?
I mean, sorry, Biscayne Park.
Okay.
The paperwork was lost in the system. And from what I understand, we had to get the resubmit, and there was some back and forth that got lost in the stuff.
I would say 2 years, we don't get permits with that system. So if there were any permits, they would be expired.
Okay.
Okay. With regards to this, because I know there are other issues, but if we can focus in on this now, and I just don't see how we can, it would not be prudent to move forward with the driveway, given the scope of what's being done and the fact that there's a construction fence.
Right.
But coming up with a total plan to bring forth the village, I mean, I would like to see something submit out plans, which would include a parking space, a driveway within, I guess, 90 days. I mean,
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, this now has been going on so long, and it goes back to my original speech earlier. We're not incentivizing people to do anything. I like that. 90 days, report back to us on come back to us on progress with plans that include a driveway, a permitted parking space, or however we want to phrase.
but you have to have, each property has to have a driveway.
Right.
So even just to have plans for it,
Absolutely.
but plans for the property, because if there's no permits, there's no plans.
Well, I was
I
gonna
can
say,
assure you that I've sat in the office and went over the plans and had the plans approved by officials in Biscayne Park. I was in the office getting them approved with my architect, and the fact that we don't have anything or any permits open now, it's news to me. This was like at least 3 months ago.
But,
Yeah.
but planning and design are the ones who approve the plans, not the building official.
Okay. Right.
You want to give them a deadline of November 8th? Because when is our meeting? We want to give them a deadline to come back to our November meeting with,
our November meeting is November the 6th. So.
So show up with some plans and a plan of
which will
action.
include your driveway component.
Yes. Okay.
Wait a minute.
November 6th.
I'd like to, you have a lot to do, but with regards to what's before us today, I'd like to make a motion in case number CEN -24-274, to, give the property owner until November the 5th to apply for a permit. That gives you enough time to get should give you enough time to get your renderings. And
Yeah.
if not, a $250 per day fine thereafter.
Fair.
I'll second.
May I make a friendly suggestion? All applicable permits, because we don't know what he's gonna need.
Well, guess what? I'm only have the drivers in front of us,
Oh,
the driveway.
never mind,
So
you're right, thank you.
if that's what's
Thank you.
before
No,
us.
No, no,
It'd
thank
be
you. You're
prudent
right,
of the property owner to pull up everything, because why would you put a driveway to have
you're right.
major construction
Got it.
stuff going over it?
And-
When you get the
Dale,
permit, it's
motion,
gonna allow
Judy,
you more time
second.
for everything.
Yeah, I wasn't aware there was no permit
All
in
in-
the system, so I'll be on top of that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. There was no after the fact permit applied for? Has there been any communication with the resident about this?
The resident came in once to the village, and upon that point, he was instructed to get permits, and we never heard from him once that initial meeting took place.
Okay to speak?
Courtesy notice was February 15th. Looks like the permit was pulled, no, I'm sorry. Like the construction was done on the 29th. No, I'm sorry, 3/5. But still no permits?
No, I didn't plan on getting a permit. I went and spoke.
Sean, if you would
Oh, yeah.
identify yourself.
Okay.
Your-
Yep. So hello, my name is Sean Dolk. I own the property at 11820.
Show your mic's on.
Or make sure it's close enough to you.
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Sean Dolk. I own the property at 11820 and 11822 Northeast 12th Court. So this is a duplex, and so part of my problem, not your problem, but my problem is that all the correspondence, because the folio is under 11820, which is where my tenants live, all the correspondence were going there. And so I actually received a text from my tenants that said, there's a note on the door that you need to fix or maintain the fence by the end of the month. And this was back in February. And so of course me, Janie, you know me well, I definitely wanted to be in compliance. And so I try my best to beautify the neighborhood. And so I did. I made the deadline, and I have some photos. And so it was very much a shock to me when I got a citation for not getting a permit for the fence that I just maintained. And so I came down and talked to oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank on your name now. Sorry. Luciano and Raphael, both at that time. And so the discussion was, well, I didn't actually build a new fence. I maintained the fence that was there. There are new pickets. The posts are the same. I didn't pour, there was one post that was rotten, so I had to pour a new, set a new post for that one, but all the other posts are the same. And so I have kind of a intermediate photo here that I'd love to share with y'all. It aligns with the other fence magically because that's how it worked. And so at that time, my argument was it's not a new fence. It's literally maintaining the fence that was there. And so what was kind of explained to me is that, yeah, but it went over $100 to maintain. And so therefore it doesn't comply. Sorry, Judy.
It's also over 50%. If it's over 50%, it's a new fence.
Okay, they're all new pickets, but I guess my
But the
My
pickets,
confusion is that it
the
wasn't. a new-
pickets are more than 50% of the fence. So you do need to get a permit.
Okay. I guess I feel like we're,
Did work quickly to come into compliance, but unfortunately you missed the critical little piece on the courtesy notice that said permit.
oh, I didn't get a courtesy notice. That's my point. And so my tenant told me they received a note that I need to fix or maintain the fence. So they apparently got a notice, but I didn't. And so when I came in that day and spoke to Luciano and Rafael, I said, I'm not getting anything. So, please use my email, use my phone number, use my address for everything since I'm the owner. And I still don't get anything. And so what's on the folio?
Yeah. You want to make sure what your date, Fraser.
Right.
You want to make sure your address is there.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess that was where I was saying it's my problem because with the tenant, I don't always get the mail, it's like until it reaches a critical mass, they don't tell me anything. And so, maybe it's in a bin by the door. I don't know where that mail would go, but I don't receive anything. And so then, it's my problem. I'm not placing blame on you for sure.
This is going to require being in front of P and Z. It'll require a survey.
Okay.
You have your survey?
I have my survey. I have everything, but honestly, when I spoke to these gentlemen, basically they said, well, if you want to go before the board, that's your decision, but you could also do a after the fact permit. But I really wanted to speak to you because I feel like this is, if we're going for the intent, which the intent was to fix the fence and be in compliance, then I more than met that requirement. And so I didn't know what we're really going for here. If we're going for compliance and beautification, then check, and we move on. But if it's just to, I guess.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
everything needs a permit and anything that's beyond 50% needs a permit.
Okay.
And it's definitely beyond 50%.
Yeah, I guess my thought was the delineation, we're basically just putting the new pickets on the same fence, on the same structure. So it's not really a new fence in that regard. I guess there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and this is just.
You started it with the first one that sort of flipped up, replaced that one and then another one and
Well,
replaced.
Right.
And that's what I thought, I could easily go through and just put a screw on some of the ones that were peeling up, but then really, is that compliance? Because that doesn't make it look any better. That doesn't meet the goal here, which the goal should have been, to make it look nice. And so yeah, I get it. Like I said, I just wanted to speak with y'all, get some more information about it.
I think some other information that I'm not sure you can give with the others, but I think you have to have some type of stain or something also. I don't think, probably it's about. But
Okay.
the permit, they can tell you at that point. It'll be on.
Okay.
If there's no more comments, would someone like to make a motion?
Well,
And just a reminder for the future, everything including painting requires a permit in this town.
Right.
It's better to call up and be told no.
And document who tells you no.
this thing. Here's how you come before us and seem to have tried and attempted to
Do the right
resolve this
thing, yeah.
without a clear understanding, what I was originally going to suggest, but, I'd like to find that a violation has occurred and give the property owner until, what's 2 weeks? Oh, it has to go before
I have
P
to
and
go
Z and all?
before P and Z, so, he could do the paperwork by next Friday. No, it's too soon also, because even though Sean, you're
The
here,
30th.
you have to get the order of enforcement. Legally, that has to come to you first, so, yeah, you have to go past that. August 30th?
Well, to apply for the permit.
You do have your survey?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I stepped all over.
Violation has occurred and give the property owner until August the 30th, to, permit pulled. If not, double, $250, per day fee thereafter.
Second.
Fine.
Second.
No fine at this point.
Yeah, then, do I get a second?
Yeah, I get.
All in favor?
Aye.
You understand, Sean, you just need to apply by August 30th. You'll go in front of P and Z at I believe that would be September 9th. And you've got your survey and everything. You should be in decent shape, but I would also suggest take a run over to Village Hall, talk to the building clerk, make sure you've got all the paperwork. I mean, you sort of got caught up, you tried to do the right thing. You know,
Yep.
it's not like you got up one morning and decided, I'm just gonna put a new fence in without a permit. You know, you tried to do the right thing. So-
Exactly. Well, and then that
Have a lot
2-week
more to
deadline was definitely a
assess
big one.
it.
I'm sorry?
No, I was just saying, I had a lot more, but given your testimony and your fact that
Yeah.
you come here and the village saying you've been cooperative and.
Okay.
It is
Thanks,
what it
Sean.
And thank you all. Have a nice evening.
Judy said.
I did.
I was gonna say the landlord ordinance is gonna be on August, meeting, and it's going to be revised, so I would say let's table this till September. Okay. That
My other concern on this is a homesteaded property. This is,
But that's not something we can deal with. Yes,
No.
it's wrong if she's claiming homestead, but the city's got to deal with that. That's not for us. You can't
Yeah,
claim full homestead.
you can only,
You can only claim half homestead.
yeah.
But that's, we don't enforce that.
Yeah,
That's a county.
At this point, we really have to close this case.
and remove the
And-
fines.
Yeah, close the case, remove the fines until we see the village's next step and get advice from the attorney as to how to handle it. Exactly. So that would be I'm sorry, if nobody else has any comments, my motion would be in CEN 24-397 that we close the case because at this point, there are moratorium on our current
And
landlord
remove.
ordinance and remove the fines.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, dismiss the case, you're right, not close it. Dismiss the case and remove all fines.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, who was my second?
Dale.
Thank you, Dan. Okay.
Could y'all, Michael and I would like to know what's the moratorium that's coming before the commission or the landlord? And what's the reason for the moratorium? What's she coming?
The state got in the way and said that basically you can do much of anything with regulating rental. Right, right.
Like not having the license and everything, you can't do that anymore?
I'm sorry, you guys, we didn't do the minutes. We didn't do the minutes. Yeah, no,
I think I'm in compliance for this year,
we're
but
gonna have to register, but he has a little vested interest in it.
And you're not getting a refund either.
Again, it's the state of Florida removing.
Minutes.
Michael, and don't ask for a refund either.
Definitely not.
Okay. Did everybody have a chance to read July's minutes? Okay. Any corrections?
I just have one question because I may have, wrote something down incorrectly, but on 8.6, did we assess an administrative fee? I mean, it's not in here, and I had it down, but I normally, but I'm not sure. if it
Yeah, it
was
looks like
assessed.
there's only a daily, not a violation
Right.
fine or an admin.
I know there were a couple last hearing that
Yeah.
we didn't assess administrative fees. I didn't. Oh. I didn't know if
Well,
it was
let
in
me
the
look.
order of enforcement.
Let me look.
Wait, what was it, 8.6?
Hey,
I can tell you what my notes say. That was July 17th?
Yeah, I have only 250 daily.
okay.
I have 250 per day plus.
Oh, let's see, Michael has 250 admin. Yeah, I have 250 admin.
You're right. You're right. I can't read my own handwriting.
Okay.
No, they're right. I
Yeah.
can't read my own handwriting. I did have 250 written down twice.
See that?
So yes.
I'm gonna get up there one day.
That's on
Okay.
8.6 should be 250 admin plus the daily.
So I didn't have any other questions or. All right.
Okay, I just have one. Be nice if I thought- I just have one and it's on 8.8. The property owner was not the one that appeared. It was his brother. Brother's name is Rocky Cohen.
I don't have.
So, do I get a motion to approve the minutes with those two changes? Right. Oh, alrighty, okay.
Okay.
Now we know how that happened.
I'd like to make a motion to approve July 17th minutes, given the corrections for 8.6 and 8.8.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Michael.
Michael. Okay. Now we have a couple of discussion, well, one discussion item. Doreen, do you want to lead us on that? You have enough copies for everybody? I've already seen it. we've used them in situations where you have an open pool. You have a caved-in roof. You have multiple safety issues. You've had situations where there's the potential for illegal dumping. I totally respect Gage, and I get his point, the normal process, you're gonna put up a construction fence, you better be doing construction. But the ordinance requires you to put it up for construction. It doesn't say you can't for other reasons, and unless somebody can think of a better way, when you have an open pool, you have a backyard full of bricks and things and an attractive nuisance, and again, a caved-in roof, garage, whatever, if anybody can think of a better way to keep a property safe, but we haven't been able to come up with one. So my concern now is P&Z going to refuse to grant this permits. We need to be able to continue to order those fences because it's our only recourse. Again, unless somebody's got another idea.
Well, I was wondering the Gage offer, solution.
No. No. Right. I see Gage was trying to make the point that if it's a maintenance issue, get it maintained. Well, I can tell you that one property we had last month, the guy did offer, if you guys remember, to pressure wash. I can guarantee you, the last time that house was touched.
Oh, yeah.
Years, the pressure washing would only make it worse. And it'd be a bigger blight. There would be no point to that. The fence would be the only thing that could more or less hide it. And they're gonna need a fence anyway. I mean, it's not like they're not doing a tear down, they are. So we're just saying, fine, speed up the process a little bit. And again, but my concern is if they start denying those permits, now what? Uh-huh.
Vanessa just gave it to me.
Oh, that's. Exactly. Exactly. I'm hoping planning and design review will be a little flexible and understand. Again, if the ordinance said, oh, no, you can't put a fence up for anything except these two things, but it doesn't. It just said you have to for those.
You wrote that email already to Gage, right? Yeah, okay. So you outlined the stuff that we have been doing. And did you get a response from him from that? So you're just bringing us up to date, like this is going on behind the scenes and this is what I'm responding to? But he was here last month, wasn't he?
Only for a portion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he wasn't there later. No, Doreen did a beautiful. Doreen did a beautiful job outlining.
I agree.
Well, and I was gonna, ask that question is there a time limit for the construction fences to be there? Do we have to certify for, because that's the main problem.
Mhm.
It's too long.
Not the fact of putting up the
Right.
construction fence, it's the amount of time before
Like
action is
years.
taken.
Yes.
Because those properties, yes, they received
Years.
demolition, well, actually, I don't know if they ever received demolition permit or after the fact. They started tearing down the property and then were told they had to put up a fence, they put up the fence. They put up the fence after the property was torn down. Yes, and we issued. Yeah, they had a lot of fines and, Because that may be something, is that they have to
Sure.
remove the pump fence after the demolition or something, and the property is leveled or whatever, but that would maybe another code or ordinance. You know, a secure area, it's almost like a park, and then they would be responsible to maintain it. If anybody, does illegal dumping, that's the property owner.
Right. Good point.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, Memorial Highway.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And thank you, Doreen, you did a beautiful job in detailing everything. Thank you. Well,
Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, everybody.